So can you describe your style and what you do?
Yes, I really love referring, I guess, back to, of course, what a lot of people do, kind of the history. And I like more of a classic style that's not quite maybe set to a certain period, but still is timeless, I guess. I don't like things that are too typically trendy, but then I like to add a little bit of a modern twist to it and a little bit of edge. I like to think of like Jackie Kennedy going to a rock concert, really. It's kind of a way maybe to describe my style. I like to have that feminine side, but also a masculine side. Although I don't really go too far one direction, I would say the biggest word for me anytime I'm designing is balance. I don't want something to be extremely to one direction or the other. I feel like a good compromise is where you can kind of take different aspects of life or of style or of an individual and merge together, and that's where you can really create a beautiful piece that is timeless and a lot of people will like, in the fact that, you know, they don't feel like, oh, that's pretty but not quite me. Like they can kind of see themselves wearing it. And for me, fashion is big, not just on what I make, but who I'm making it for.
So can you tell us a little bit about this piece?
Yeah, so I guess the Jackie Kennedy, I guess, reminded me, that's probably why I saw it, because I saw this in my peripheral. This is kind of like that the idea of an older classic look, you know, slightly cropped, maybe something that's a slightly more conservative way would have been something Jackie Kennedy would have worn. But as you can see, this is completely sheer. My model will be wearing little, you know, bloomers when she walks down the runway. But what I like is the fact that it's 2 layers. So this is a pencil skirt that I then will put a pleated skirt over on top. So when you walk and you move, there's depth. This one stays close to the body, and then this one will move away from the body. And then I also did a lot of hand sewing so that when you look at the side and the seaming, there's not a direct seam. It kind of just fades in with the skirt. So there's not a lot of seaming or seam allowances. It seems very, well,
That's good thinking.
seamless.
Yeah.
And then the top is a cashmere crop top. And I'm also very efficient. I bought this fabric for a client to make this collar for her jacket, but it didn't work out. And so when I went to make this, I always like to go through my fabrics and use what I have leftovers of. It really helps with my designs to me not feel so committed, because at least I knew I already had the material in hand, and I like to use what I have available to me. So this is a cashmere crop top that I draped, and it's just a kind of a basic style, but you kind of have a 1950s hint here with the darting coming from the neckline. And then this is what's called a bias drape right here, which kind of creates this nice little, I don't know, what bib collar thing. It's cool though, it's really cool.
It looks like a bib actually.
It is a little bit bibish, but in a cool way. If babies were, you know, I guess, a cool baby bib. But so that's the design right there. And in the back it has like a faux hood. It kind of looks like it's a hood, but it's not.
Oh yeah.
So that's that design.
There it is.
And then this one is actually upholstery fabric, so you would buy this for like your couches and such. And this is the fabric is actually just a stripe, but I cut it on an angle so that it creates this design. So the fabric itself was just a striped fabric that I cut and manipulated to make this pattern. And then I cut it up to create these different straps for the back. And then you can see at the side, I'm a huge fan of matching stripes. So here on the side, you get like a nice little chevron effect by the way I cut it. And then here in the center front, it kind of just comes straight down and then meets together. And this is actually a continuous piece right here. And then I've cut it, and that's where the seam starts. And then there's a zipper that goes down there in the center.
Yeah, it's good.
So,
it's a good idea.
Yeah, try to be
it's
creative.
New because I've never seen that before. And
yeah. I think sometimes when I design, I don't always think about colors so much as like an artist perspective. Since my background is in construction, I always design, I try to reconstruct or rethink the construction method. So if darts or a seam is typically done one way, I try to think of a new way of doing an old traditional construction method.
Right, stand out from all the rest. Those dudes. A little bit of competition.
For sure, that's important. But yeah, and then this design right here is, this was what we did for the Marie Antoinette shoot. And I'll just kind of bring this forward. And this is actually boning, was what you use to give stiffness to bodices for strapless dresses. So it's like plastic.
Okay.
And then I covered it in fabric and then wove it together and hand tacked each spot so it wouldn't move to stay in that spot. And then I just kind of draped the garment. So this was one continuous piece, just a little side dart. Doesn't fit this mannequin, it fits the model. And then this piece kind of just sits on here. And when it actually fits well in the model, it kind of hangs away, kind of orbiting the gown. So
something is over this. right?
No, this is
It
it.
stays like this?
Yeah. What was once supposed to be inside, I've brought to the outside. This is normally supposed to be on the underside of a dress to give it structure, but I've used it to create a design here on the outside. This one's not quite so useful in everyday life because I don't know if you could sit well in it, but it looks cool when you stand.
No, that's true. Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to sit in that.
Yeah, a little more art than function. So
Fantastic. Thank you, Ashley.
thank you.